guys. Been fishing in the molasses for any remaining parts, and I didn't find my clutch bits, but did find the handbrake parts, so that's really cool. Give them a clean off in a minute. Now one of those, and the handbrake rod, so that's good. And the linkage on the back, that was seized, or all this was seized solid when it was in the car. Couldn't move it. Even managed to put a bend in it, if you can see there. Even managed to put a bend in it when I was trying to force it down. That's how seized it was. So, a little back linkage that goes across the axle. Horrible and seized. So get that cleaned off, and Mary's up today, so I'm not sure I'm going to get in the sink. I think she might bash my ear holes. And the rear anti-roll bars, so yeah, so we'll that washed off, all of that. Doesn't seem to like the grease much. Grease has stayed on there pretty well, so it's no good if the bit parts are greasy. So anyway, out of the molasses. This handbrake goes down by the side of your leg, not in the centre of the car, but down one side. It's a push down type handbrake lever, so it goes down like the door sill. This was really seized, and really corroded. So that I'm chuffed with that, really, because I was really seriously thinking I'm going to have to buy a new one or try and find a better one, you know. It's but I'm chuffed with that. So if I get some, all I've done so far is just blown it off. So I'll get some WD-40 all over it. I mean, you can see this anti-roll bar on the back, and apparently the people that know about these bloody cars say that these anti-roll bars are pretty much useless and a waste of time on the back of these things. Pretty sure they're only 9/16 bar, and it's pretty corroded. But it's important because these ends, there's a U-clamp and a drop link that comes off there for the shock absorber, so they've got to be on there. Well, so let's certainly this last section. So you know, if there's some degradation in the anti-roll bar, I'm not too fussed, to be honest. You can see there it's got some real deep, it's had some real deep corrosion in there, so but yeah, that's pretty much, I just wiped that off with a cloth, so it's pretty much unclean so far. Unclean. Camera focus on it. And that was a bit that was sticking out of the molasses, so it didn't actually get touched by it. So anyway, lots to do. I've got to get my finger out. I'll stop talking about it and do some. Right. Okay, brake pipe making time. This is the type I use. Although the garage when I was an apprentice had a snap-on tool, which was basically two bars with the size of it. This is the type I use now, and it's not through choices because it was available, if that makes sense. Typical brake pipe, 3/16. I've got a roll of copper for some tricky bends if I need it, but I'll go for it with this and see how we get on. Yeah, it's typical Sykes pick about. They are well made. They're big, well made and clunky. No good for working on the car. You know, if you've got a long brake pipe that you've just got a little bit of rust on the end and you just want to swap it out, you can't do that. You can't make anything on the car, not unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger and can wrestle with it, because they're quite a heavy lunky. You've got basically a pair of dies that you drop in the machine in the tool. You drop your pipe in, you got this comes off. You've got a selection of flares on the end, so in sizes. So I'm going to be doing 3/16 operation 1, which gives you your male type flare. And you just literally pull the handle, give it a squeeze. That's all it is. So once you've clamped up your pipe. So I might do one later on just to show you, but it's fairly simple tool. But oh gosh, I'm just using some string to trace where the pipe's going to go. That's the route it's going to follow. Certainly not ideal, because I'd like to put in some semi-rigid wire, but I ain't got none, so I'm going to do it with string and hope for the best. So we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I've remember to put the nut on, because I keep forgetting that sort of thing. I always make a brake pipe end and then go, bugger, I've left the nut off. I've cleaned up the end. I got a habit of putting it in the dies and then just rubbing the file across just to make it dead flat. I've got a screwdriver that just happens to be exactly the right size for the inside for the pipe. Got to run it through and then run the airline, blow the airline up through, just to make sure there's no smeg left in there. So that's what I do really. It's on to making the pipe, so I'll quickly get set up and then do one end, and then you can see what the crack is. Okay, so my pipe's look at this. Pipe's deburred, flat, straight. I stick one of my imperial nuts on before I forget it. That's what I do. Use something flat to push up against so I know it's in the right place. Again, it's just me, sort of what I do. Clamp up real tight. Check the nuts on again. Okay, operation 1 on the 3/16. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just quickly do an operation 2 so you can see. So hopefully you will have a see we've got nice end. You can always rub around it if there's a bit you've got some marks in it. Just give it a quick rub around and then blow the pipe through again. You know, it's not no big deal. So just to make sure it's deburred. The good thing about these is if you want me to keep them clean, they don't squash up the pipe. They don't get any clamp marks left in the pipe. It keeps its size. Like I say, if you keep the dies clean enough, otherwise they won't quite grab enough. So that's it. So that's my 2 pipes. Just a matter of bending it to shape. I will quickly do operation 2 just for the sake of it, just to show you. Ooh. Take the female end. Not flat. operation 1. It's the male one. So make sure it's tight. She's up tight. Operation 2, which is just a cone shape, tapered one. So operation 2. Always give it 2 squeezes out of habit. Don't you need to, but it's just a force of habit. And then that gives you your female end. If you can see that. Right. Cheers. So because I haven't got any stiff wire that's long enough, this is what I'm having to do. I'm basically tracing bends, if that makes sense. I'll measure the first bend and then measure the second bend and an orientation and work it out. And, using one of these hand benders, but they're it doesn't quite make 90 degrees, so you have to do a little bit by hand. And then I basically measured with my wire where my next bend from one bend to the next bend, and obviously I picture it in my head which way the bend's going to go. So, but you can always turn it and twist it a little bit by hand. So I basically get this off again. Make it a little bit straight all the way along. Again, like I say, I want to keep saying this is just how I do it. It's not. Don't treat this as me telling you how to do it. This is me just showing you how I do it. I think it's best to find out. Use lots of people's ideas. So I've got the end of where the other bend's got to start. Is there. Another orientation is going to come back up towards me, so I'm going to remember which way to put the pipe bender. So I have a silly habit of doing that as well, forgetting that. The whole point of using these rather than just bending it around things is that you end up with a you can end up with a like a thin section in here, and it just keeps it keeps the pipe round and open, if it makes any sense. So hopefully we're getting there. And I've just got to basically end up in my a little 90 to end up in my brake union. See how easily I forget. But if I do get it wrong, see I'm going to do it wrong there. If I do it wrong, it's not the end of the world, because you can twist the pipe quite successfully without causing it too major damage. So with a bit of luck, I should have a pipe that fits where I want it to fit. Okay, so that's pipe number 1 in. There's a couple of clips that I'm waiting for that are coming to secure it a bit better. So once they're in, that pipe will be finished. Okay, that's the front's plumbed in. So just got to wait for some clips. Come up with some securing clips. So I'm going to get on and get the clutch if I find all the parts of this clutch mechanism in now. Okay, last bit of film of the day. Got the clutch linkage on, the pedal up through the floor, so that's cool. And so 3 pedals at last. So that's it for me, because tomorrow is Mother's Day, so I think there'll be anything being done on this. Going to see the senior with the junior. So that's the end of the day for me. Cheers, guys.